Hey, what is going on everybody? My name is Barber223 and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be doing a Magic Templar PvP build and yeah, it's just a build that I've been using lately. It's pretty good. It's good in BGs, it's good pretty much wherever. It's just a solid build. Has a lot of damage, a lot of healing, and just an overall very solid build. So let's just get into it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to 800 subs. So yeah, let's just do it. So let's do it with the character screen first. First of all, we are running Bewitched Sugar Skulls for, it's really just the best food in the game in my opinion, so it's very good. We're using the Astronaut Mundus for extra recovery, and we are an Orc. You can be a Breton, you can be an Orc, you can be a High Elf, whatever you want. I like Orc. It's a lot of damage, a lot of movement speed, helps a lot on the Templar because they're slow. We're using 27 magic attributes and 37 health. We want to get to about 28, 29k health, so that's why I do that. Magic is not all that important considering that it's very easy to get it back. So let's buff up. We are sitting at 28k spell resistance, 23k physical resistance. Actually really solid considering how much healing we have. And then we have almost 28k magic, 29k health, 21k stam, 1400 magic recovery, but if we're being honest, it's actually much higher than that when you use a potion, and with our rune it's going to be well above 2k. So we're also at 300 spell damage before we even buff up, so let's buff up and then use this, and we are sitting at 4200 spell damage. That's all, and it also goes up more when we use a light attack on the back bar, so very nice. I also don't have that glyph on at the moment. I'll put that on. It's called a berserker glyph if you don't know. We also have 25% spell crit, which isn't very great, but it doesn't matter because we are using Malakath, so don't worry about that. So yeah, that's the gear, or that's the stats. Let's get into the gear. So on the front bar, we are running a Spinner's Lightning Staff. Number one reason is because Spinner's gives a lot of penetration and magic and spell damage. So you get magic, spell damage, and pen. But the reason we're using it is because lightning staffs give 8% extra AoE damage, so very nice. And on top of that, we also have sharpened, so we get a lot of penetration just from this. We're getting 6,500 plus 3,300. We're getting over 10k just from our weapon and our 5-piece. As you can probably guess what other 5-piece I'm using based off of this, but we'll keep going. So on the back bar, we're using Bog Raider. It doesn't matter what you use on the back bar. You can use literally whatever. Any resto staff that feels comfortable to you. I use it just because it gives a little bit extra magic. So you could use that. You could use Healing Taken on the back bar. You can use whatever you want. But yeah, make sure I would use Powered or Defending on the back bar. Maybe even Decisive, but I think Powered's the best because you're literally getting major mending pretty much at all times. That is incredible. So that's very nice. And we are using a life drain enchant, but you want to change this to a spell damage glyph, specifically called the Berserker glyph. So yeah. And then in terms of a glyph here, you can use whatever you want. I'm using poison because I had it on my DK earlier, but you could use shock. Shock's probably the best because it gives them minor vulnerability when it procs. So probably put shock there and put Berserker here to get the maximum efficiency. So for the body, we are using Pirate Skeleton, and we're using a Triglyph. If you can get Triglyphs on everything, nice. If you can't, oh well. We have Infused on it, not the worst trait, but I would like to have Reinforced or Impen or Well Fitted, but it is what it is. So the other 5-piece we're using here is Heartland Conquer. So actually, before I get into that, let me just let you know, here for the monster set, we're only using a 1-piece. We're using Pirate Skeleton to get extra armor, but you could use a 1-piece Balrog, 1-piece Valken Scoria for penetration. You could use whatever 1-piece you want. I like Pirate Skeleton for tankiness. So the other 5-piece we're using is Heartland Conqueror. So this one gives buff in spell damage, max magic, max stamina, and increases the effectiveness of your weapon traits. So the main reason we're using this is because if you want to use two 5-pieces, One of the best ones in the game is Heartland Conqueror. That is because it gives offense and defense. As you can see, it doubles our sharpen trait to go to 6,500, and on the back bar, it doubles our healing to 18%. So not only does it give offense, but it also gives defense, and it also gives extra stats. So it's one of the best sets in the game, in my opinion. Obviously, most builds run this at this point. Heartland Conqueror is very meta, but it's not overpowered. It's just a very fun and viable set that isn't a proc. That's just a lot of fun to use. So, yeah. So we are using a spinner's gauntlet or amulet on the shoulder. We are using 1, 2, 3, 4 heavy and 4 heavy, 3 light. You could use 5, whatever you want, but I like 4 heavy, 3 light for now. The next update, you could make these two into medium instead. That way you get extra spell damage. That's probably what I'm gonna do. But for now, this is what I'm using until the update comes. Yeah, but as I said before, you like impen or reinforced on everything. As you can see, that is what I have. So it's ideal. We're well fitted. So yeah, the jewelry, don't come at me in the comments, please. I know they're blue. I know they're blue. I can easily buy purple. I just didn't feel like it. I couldn't find any on the store, so we are using magic recovery and arcane on these. I do like recovery a lot. We just need recovery, period. We're an orc, so we don't get much sustain from that, but we do get damage, so we put recovery in other places. Pretty simple. And then we are using Malakath. As you guys know, it's bread and butter. It is very good for damage, especially in a heavy armor build. Increase your damage by 16%, but reduces crit damage, but that doesn't matter because our crit is pretty trash anyways. We are using Infused. You could make this whatever you want. I like Infused because it pumps up our spell damage a lot. It really, really helps the scaling, so I like Infused. You could use Arcane if you want. You could use Haste. You could use whatever you want. So that is what I'm using. But let's get into the skills. So on the front bar, we are using Radiant Glory. You could use the other one, Radiant Oppression. It really doesn't matter. But I like getting a heal for killing people. Pretty cool. But just a crazy good finisher. Anyone gets low health, you can destroy people. It's that simple. Like, it's just good. Period. It's good. I can't play Templar without it. I love it so much. So even next patch, you might be able to use it on a stand build. We'll see. So here we're using Living Dark. This is a very controversial skill for me. I think it's a very, very good skill. I've tried playing without it, and for some reason I'm just way more successful with it. I've tried using Purifying Light instead. I've tried using Weakness to Elements, and I've also tried using Mage Light. I keep coming back to Living Dark, and I think the reason I keep doing that is, number one, not only does it give a very solid heal, but it's 6 seconds, so which is also very nice. But on top of that, it's a crazy good snare. Now, as all of you probably know, Templar is extremely slow, just like Dragonite, just like Necromancer, and I don't really have a spot open to put on Race Against Time or Mistform. So I'm like, what can I do instead? Well, I can put on Living Dark, and instead of speeding myself up, I can slow other people down. So every time somebody hits me with direct damage, which is pretty much everything in the game, it reduces their movement speed by 60%. So there isn't really a cooldown on it either. So anyone that's hitting me is going to be slowed, which really saves my freaking life. 60% is a very, very, very strong heal. Or a very, very strong snare. I apologize. So I think this skill is very valuable. And it gives a nice heal. So yeah. Next we're using Solar Barrage. Again, I've tried using Mage Light here instead. Solar Barrage is crazy, crazy DPS. It puts your damage up by so much. It's very, very good. And it gives you Empower, and it procs your Minor Sorcery right here. So very good. And it helps your ultimate gen a lot. So it's extremely good. Extremely, extremely good. So I can't play without it either. Just pumps up your damage. A lot of pressure. And AoE too at that. It stacks really well with your ultimate. But here we're using Toppling Charge. A very good CC. It's a gap closer. And on top of it, it does a good amount of damage. And it sets people off balance. So if you wanted to use Stuns, you could. It would work just like Spinners. I just like Spinners because it's a little bit more consistent. It's always up. It's not on a target or anything like that. It's just always up. So it's very good. But this is also very good. Toppling Charge is solid. Or Stuns is solid too, but Toppling Charge is one of the best CCs in the game. It's very, very good. It does a good amount of damage. It stuns people. And, yeah. So, of course, Puncturing Sweeps is spammable. does crazy damage, it does AoE damage, it slows people. So really, you could essentially give 100% snare. If somebody hits you with Living Dark up and then you hit them with Puncturing, they're literally snared by 100%. So that's very good, and you get a heal out of it for the damage you do. So crazy, crazy good. And then here we're using Crescent Sweep. Very good ultimate. It does crazy AoE damage. It pulses around you. It does 60% more damage if they're in front of you. So not only does it do crazy high DPS or crazy burst damage, but it does a lot of dot damage over time, and it only costs 71. So really good. A real nice combo for me is pretty much you put your Solar Barrage up, get your Minor Sorcery, you use Living Dark to go into the fight, so you're getting healed and snaring. You go into toppling, you hit them with Crescent, and then you stab away. It's really simple. You kill people, and then you use Radiant Glory when you need to. Really, really, really good. So, yeah. On the back bar, we're using Channel Focus. Obviously needed. It's your armor buff, it's your major resolve. But the reason I say earlier about your recovery is because it also gives 480 recovery because you restore 242 magic every 1 second. And what does recovery do? Well, it restores every 2 seconds. So basically, you're getting over 480 recovery with this. And it gives you a very, very solid heal. So do not sleep on this. And it's cheap. And it lasts a while. And it buffs your healing. So it's a real good skill. So obviously we're using Extended Ritual. This one is a must. Do not take the other morph. Take this morph. It cleanses 5 harmful effects. That's a lot of effects. That's Venomous Claw. That's Noxious Breath. That's, Unleash. That's debuffs. All of that can be cleansed in one use. So it's real nice. And it applies Purify for your teammates. It gives a burst heal to them. And it lasts a good amount of time. And it gives a dot heal. Or a heal over time. A hot. So yeah, good. Here we're using Rapid Regen. When you're fully buffed up, this tooltip pushes up pretty high. It gets up to like 25, 26k, so really nice. Very good heal. I can't play without it. I don't know how some people do. I need Rapid Regen. So, yeah. We're using Honor the Dead as well. Very, very good skill, as you guys probably know. As you can see, look how hard it heals. Very good. Don't use the other morph. This one's better because it restores magic if it healing at low health. Very good. And then we're using Degen for our major sorcery. If you want to use a potion, go at it. But, I don't like doing that. So, I use Degeneration. Here we have Light's Champion. You could use the other morph if you want. It's really up to you. Whatever you want to do. This one gives major force, which makes no sense for me, I guess, because I am using Malakath, but, it does help. It still helps. The other one is it's probably better, is make sure you get your morphs that you want, like Healing Ward and Force Siphon, whatever it is, Blessing of Protection. Very good. So that is the skills, guys, and that is the gear, and that is the character screen. I ain't going to go into CP because I mostly play no CP. If you want to go CP, I always say just do whatever makes you feel as comfortable as possible. It's totally up to you. CP is your own personal preference, I feel. So whatever you want to do, make sure you do. But yeah, I'm going to be releasing some gameplay for it soon. If you have any thoughts, opinions, questions down below, please let me know. I will 100% be posting hopefully some gameplay of the build very soon. So within the next day or two, so you guys can get some. I've been having some good clips with it, getting some compliments in the BGs, whispers. So yeah, let me know what you think down below, guys, and have a good one, and thank you for the support. I'll see you later.